Hi, welcome to Revenue Marketing Television, the CMO Insight Series. I'm your host, Jeff Pedowitz, President and CEO of the Pedowitz Group. Today we have Dana Poleg, who is Vice President of Marketing and Channel Sales for Kaltura. Dana, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Oh, absolute pleasure. So, a lot of experience in your background, not your first rodeo either, running marketing, but what are some of your perspectives? I mean, what do you think's changed the most over the last 5 to 10 years?
Oh, I think marketing changed upside down in the past 5 years, especially. Everything today is being measurable. I think this is the biggest shift. You can actually see and measure the impact of marketing, and you can see it immediately. I mean, if in my early days I used to work for an ad agency, you had to work for 2 months on a TV ad, and you would do a market research, and then you would produce the ad, and then you would air the ad, and only then you would get to know if it actually worked or not. Only 3 months into the work, whereas today you get this feedback immediately. Everything is being measured. You get the feedback immediately, and you can fix immediately. I think this is the biggest change that is going on. On top of that, there are lots of new technologies that are coming in this context. So lots of new marketing tools that were introduced. So all in all, I think the marketing arena is one of the most exciting places to be these days.
I completely agree. So I'm just curious with everything that we can measure. Do you find though that some things maybe or take too much time that shouldn't be measured, or should there be certain areas that we should be focusing more on in terms of measurement?
I think the key is not the actual measure. It's actually to act on your data, to act on your insights. I mean, specifically in my team, a couple of months ago, we realized that now we have the ability to gather data. We know everything. We know how many people downloaded an asset and joined the webinar and visit the website, and how much time they spent on each page, and our PPC data. But we're not doing a good enough job in acting on this data. So I think this is an area that still needs to be improved. The providing those actionable insights, those quick tips, so you don't have to go through all those masses of data to figure out what it is that you want to change. I mean, if it's for a specific area, that's usually easy. I mean, if it's a PPC campaign, it's usually easy to know and change the placing. But if you look at the overall and the overall funnel, that's harder to analyze.
Well, how about at the board level or to your boss? Are they looking at different types of metrics? Do they want to find out about revenue, pipeline contribution, margin, ROI?
My marketing team is being measured on business metrics. We're being measured on the number of, we're being measured on the number of qualified leads that we're bringing in, measured on the number of opportunities that are being created as a result of our marketing activities, and we're being measured on close won deals that started from marketing. So myself and some of my team members were carrying quota. Actually, we're on a commission plan, and I think that's the best way to go. This gives you a seat at the table, and this makes marketing really a part of the sales process.
Fantastic! I love that. So, and no complaints from sales about marketing getting paid on commission.
I think actually this created a better bond between marketing and sales because we're working towards the same goals. It makes us more aligned. We work better together. We want to achieve. I mean, their success is my success. I cannot succeed without them achieving their goals, and vice versa. So at the end of the day, it made a better team out of us.
I love it. So you mentioned also as part of the big changes in the last 5 years, lots of technology. We've all seen the chart with all those logos on it. How do you decide what you should be investing in and what you shouldn't? And doesn't it get a little overwhelming?
It is overwhelming, and it keeps changing and it keeps evolving, and we keep looking at new technology. I have a personal goal of looking at least one new demo a month. So introduce myself into one new technology a month, and we're experimenting with new technologies regularly. We're already using a lot, and I'm sure that we will be adding more as we go along.
So, is there any technology that is a really high priority for you as you go into 2019? Like, hey, we've got to go get that. We're going to budget for that.
We actually this year we're going to invest a lot in technology that has to do with the customer journey and with understanding customers better. So technologies that lets you know how customers are using your products and highlighting on pinpointing specific milestones throughout the customer journey, and also looking at the customer health, whether they're using it properly. How was the rollout? How many of their employees are actually using our products? Are there any issues? Are they opening a lot of support tickets? So technology in this area of the business. We're also looking to introduce new technology around references management. So the ability to track and also to award customers who are willing to serve as our references, speak at events, analyst reviews, and also be references in deals and opportunities.
Very nice. So you're going to have a busy year.
Yeah, I'm actually excited.
So I'm curious a little bit about your people and the culture. I don't know if everyone knows that's watching, but you started your career and your life. You were born in Israel, so you spent a lot of your professional career there, and now you've been over here for the last 4 or 5 years. How's that prepared you, I guess, with the different cultural differences and managing teams on different sides of the globe? How's that lend into your approach today as you build your team?
Kaltura is a very global company. We have people everywhere and anywhere. They don't care if you're working from the office, working from home, or you're at the Cape, or you're in, I don't know. I worked for Costa Rica last year while on holiday. So you get total flexibility, and you get also the opportunity to work with people from literally everywhere. I have colleagues from Australia and from Singapore and Hong Kong and all over Europe, Germany, the UK, France, and obviously here in the US and Israel. So really, Kaltura provides this diversity of people to work with. I think obviously me coming from a different culture gave me this additional perspective. I lived elsewhere. I worked with different people. So I think in a way it makes it easier for me to adapt to the different styles. I have a team member in Singapore, a couple of team members here in New York, so we're everywhere, and we make it work. That's part of the fun, and we try to meet at least once a year in person.
Hey, so how big's your team overall?
How big? I manage 13 people directly.
Okay. And then as you look to hire people, what kind of skills do you look for?
I am looking for people that are strong, experienced marketeers. I like people that are self-driven, that don't need, this micromanagement. People that are extremely smart, and that are great collaborators and good team players.
Like that. So what's probably one of the greatest things you've learned over the course of your career? So if you had to go back to yourself as a young professional woman starting out her career, what would you tell her?
I think the biggest lesson is around the power of the team. When you work with a team, you work better. You get further. Your team brings in more ideas, and at the end of the day, it's more fun than working alone and knowing everything. I don't hold the wisdom. It's a team effort, and we do amazing things. By working together as a team. Each one of my team members, they each bring their own amazing ideas. We get each other, we make each other better, and we like working together. So I think that would be my biggest lesson.
That's a good one. Absolutely.
It took me like 15 years to get there.
There's a lot of power in the team for sure. So as you build this team globally, what have been some of the challenges for you from a scale perspective?
That's a really good question. I think specifically in Kaltura, Kaltura has a pretty broad offering. We cater to lots of industries. Kaltura is the leading video management platform, and we cater to basically any industry and any use case. I mean, there's any organization in the world needs video for something, whether it's for learning and development or training or for internal communication or communicating with your customers and communicating with your employees and so on. We cater to lots of use cases across various industries in all geographies. So the biggest challenge was, given this relatively small team, to try and be able to build an effective marketing machine that would cater to this variety of companies and geographies.
And how are you meeting that challenge?
One step at a time. One geography at a time. I mean, we go one geography, one region after the other. For each region, we try to come up with a very concise go-to-market plan to decide on the specific countries within this geography that we want to focus on, the specific use cases that we think would work best, would resonate best for this specific geography, for the specific channels and specific campaigns. So we really try to tailor it per region, per continent, and then build this mini machine for each of those regions. But it's a complex operation.
So there's no question video as a rise in content is massive. We've seen such huge spikes over the last couple of years. I'm curious, as we also see the rise of AI, conversational web, where people are being more voice activated in their exchanges. How will that impact video? And how will people engage with video differently in the future based upon AI and conversation?
I think that video it's already taking over, and I think it's going to go even further than that. I mean, looking at my children, my oldest one is 11, my younger one is 7. They are generation video. They don't talk on the phone like this. They only do FaceTime. They only do video calls. They don't Google anything. They YouTube stuff. YouTube is their go-to search engine. YouTube is their go-to place to learn new things. And they feel very comfortable recording themselves on camera, which is something that maybe our generation were not very comfortable with that. So they call them Gen Z, but I actually call them Gen V. And I think that as they enter the academic world and the workplace, video is gonna take over everything.
I would concur. Well, and then how will video change in terms of consumption? So, because with more devices, people have watches, right? Or it's a tablet, or it's their cell phone, IoT. How do you see that changing? Will people consume video differently than they consume it today?
I don't think it's about how you consume it. I think it's more about what you use it for. Today, we use it for very specific types of actions. We use it for learning. We use it at home when watching TV for entertainment. We use it for communication. I think this will expand even further. I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, doing a video call was something that was technically challenging. And today it's a no-brainer. Video conference calls from everywhere. Video learning or remote learning that is even more advanced than it is today. Over the top or cloud TV that is very personalized and specific to your specific needs. So I think AI is going to enhance analytics, going to enhance the way we use video.
Well said. So, yeah. Dana, thank you so much for being on the program today. Great insights. Love getting to hear from you, and best of luck at Kaltura.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
You bet. Thank you.